Let me know when you want us to start.
You can go ahead.
Thank you very much, Terry. Kwe, good afternoon. Bonjour. My name is Saa Andrews, and I am the Chief Creative Officer for BOTA NB and a member of the organizing committee of our 2022 African Heritage Month. I wish you all a warm welcome to our 2022 opening ceremony of African Heritage Month here in New Brunswick. For those of you watching via Facebook, please note that translation is not available feature for the Facebook Live. It is, however, available within the webinar here today. I am pleased to facilitate the dialogue today with Nadine Duguay-Lemay, CEO of Dialogue NB. Bonjour, Nadine.
Bonjour, Saa. Je suis très honorée de faire partie de cette cérémonie d'ouverture. Je me rappelle de notre conversation en 2020 lorsque l'Association africaine du Nouveau-Brunswick avait ciblé Dialogue Nouveau-Brunswick comme l'un des partenaires avec qui elle voulait travailler. Nous avons eu une conversation franche, respectueuse, riche en prise de conscience pour moi et ancrée dans l'action. Ce que j'ai le plus apprécié, c'est que vous désiriez tisser des liens au long terme et non pas de façon ponctuelle. Je vous ai vu agir à titre de bénévole sur de nombreux dossiers importants pendant toute l'année, tels que le racisme systémique, la représentativité dans nos postes de leadership, ou encore pour dénoncer la situation de logement, de criminalité et de racisme qui sévit dans le quartier Doon de la région de Fredericton depuis trop longtemps. Il est important que cela se sache, mais il est aussi plus important que jamais que votre combat soit davantage suivi et appuyé par toutes les communautés du Nouveau-Brunswick. C'est d'ailleurs le thème choisi cette année, Ubuntu. Did I say it right? Ubuntu?
Ubuntu, yes.
Ubuntu, OK. Nous sommes parce que vous êtes. Le mois du patrimoine africain nous invite à nous engager toutes et tous dans toutes nos communautés pour enrayer ensemble le racisme systémique. Ce n'est qu'ainsi que nous gagnerons ce combat par une action collective. La cohésion sociale au Nouveau-Brunswick en sera doublement renforcée. Je salue donc votre leadership, Saa Andrews, Yusuf, et je vous réitère l'appui de dialogue pour amplifier vos voix.
That is great, Nadine. Very great. It is important to reflect for a moment on this year's theme, which is Ubuntu. I am because you are. This really means a lot to us. You see me today because you are. If I succeed today, it's because you are. If we create change that we want to see today, it's because you are. What happens today in our community, in New Brunswick, in Canada as a whole, is because you allow it to happen. So you that are in positions of power of creating the change that you want to see for everyone that comes into your community and become a member of this community is because you allow whatever that shapes around it.
Ça, absolument. Et ça renvoie au fondement même de la cohésion sociale, n'est-ce pas? Nous sommes tous interconnectés. Les décisions qui sont prises dans notre société ont un impact, que ce soit positif ou négatif, sur les gens et plus souvent qu'autrement pour les personnes en position de vulnérabilité. S'il y a un manque de représentativité à la table de décision, les personnes qui sont le plus souvent impactées ont beaucoup moins de chances, voire aucune, d'être entendues. C'est à la fois une conséquence et une cause du racisme systémique. Il est temps de briser ce cercle vicieux Et nous ne pourrons réussir que si l'on change nos structures et nos systèmes. Il en va de notre responsabilité à tous et toutes de répondre en tant qu'alliés, que ce soit au sein de nos familles, de notre communauté ou encore de nos organisations. Alors ça, merci beaucoup pour réfléchir sur le thème. Maintenant, je reconnais qu'aujourd'hui, je me joins à vous de Dieppe, qui est le territoire ancestral non cédé du peuple Mi'kmaq. Ce territoire est visé par les traités de paix et d'amitié signés à l'origine en 1725 par les peuples Wolastoqey, Mi'kmaq et Peshkutumakati, ainsi que par la couronne britannique. Les traités n'avaient pas pour but de traiter la cession des terres et des ressources, mais plutôt de reconnaître le titre de propriété Wolastoqey, Mi'kmaq et Passamaquoddy, et aussi d'établir les règles des rapports qui se poursuivraient à long terme entre les nations. Je suis très reconnaissante que nous puissions tous et toutes nous réunir virtuellement aujourd'hui et je suis reconnaissante envers les premiers peuples qui partagent leurs terres ancestrales non cédées avec nous. J'encourage ceux qui sont dans le webinaire d'écrire dans le clavardage de quel territoire non cédé vous vous joignez à nous aujourd'hui. Et aussi, vous allez voir que Terry, dans le webinaire, vient de partager une ressource qui va vous permettre de vous situer sur quelle terre ancestrale vous vous situez. Et aussi, nous remercions le Dr. David Purley qui a partagé la ressource de comment dire la reconnaissance des territoires ancestrales correctement.
I am so thankful that we have Elder Elmelda Pali joining us once again this year at this opening ceremony. In recognition of your time, your expertise and wisdom, we wish to extend this offering of tobacco, which my brother Yusuf will present, to you as a token of our deep gratitude. Elder Emelda Pali, the floor is now yours.
Puliwan, Walalin, merci, thank you. And kolasi ko pa as kamit speltamotit kitak ni komoa, Wolastoqey. Puliwan Nadine gizi squidman ali Wulamsadwagan ktachik taliptunen. I welcome you from the unceded, unsurrendered territory of the people of the beautiful and bountiful river Wolastoq that's been renamed St. John. And I thank Nadine for carrying truth of our how our people welcomed everybody to our territory without conditions. And so I carry this because your theme is so beautiful. I am because you are. And we have a symbol like this. It's called Wulibamausawagan, and it's all of our peoples within one circle, you know, connected, united. The what we call the white family, the indigenous family, the Asian family, and the Black family. We are because you are. And it's really, and so we call it in our language, Kjilagodimuk, sacred relationship. It's so sacred that we have a responsibility to make sure that when we meet each other, we share sacred space together. And that's why I'm so grateful for the invite today to be a part of this, Chapin. And I wanted to also talk about, I normally would sing a song, but I know it's different, but I know I would sing the Wolastoq song, you know, as a tribute to my great-grandmother. In our language, we don't objectify our environment. We are related to our environment. So our great-grandmother river, you know, Wolastoq, is a relative instead of a resource. Our forest is a relative and not a resource. The land that we share, that we walk on, even though it's underneath asphalt, is shared. And so it directs us to walk an earth walk so we can walk in beauty You know, I just wanted to share the first English word that my grandmother wouldn't allow in our home in Tobic First Nation from the day school was the word HATE. And she said that word is not allowed in this house. It doesn't belong to our language, and it shouldn't belong to any language, because when you use that word too often, you will know the negativity that it embodies. And I don't want you to live in a world with that word. So I'm asking everybody out there to start eliminating HATE from your vocabulary. That will definitely make a shift of that love that we're promoting. And I'm so grateful for having Black History Month. I know we used to have an Aboriginal Language Month, but now we get a day. That's okay. But I think the non-Indigenous people and the Asians and the Blacks and the whites have to realize we have to make space for each other. It can't be one day for Aboriginals and 364 for non-Aboriginals. So somewhere along the line, let's shift. Let's be this beautiful way to be a good human and celebrate who we are, where we come from, not look at the differences, but celebrate the unity within our diversities. I am so grateful that we are here together today to be able to begin this month with this incredible invitation to celebrate with our Black relatives. And may we continue to walk in beauty, regardless of which part of this wheel we belong to walk in beauty together, to share our clean air together, to also recognize where we are and give that respect to the peoples who were here before your ancestors came. I raise my fan, my eagle fan, to send that whiff of peace, love, and to stay in the beautiful circle so that we can be because you can be. We are because I am because you are. Wuliwan, Walalin, merci, and thank you.
You just make me have goosebumps right now where I am. This is what we are talking about. This is what we want to share with the rest of the world, not just New Brunswick, but New Brunswick and beyond. That's why we come out as dedicated volunteers from our communities. The job we're doing what we're doing right now is not a paid job. We're doing it because we love to help and bring our community together and bring good people together and help make our community be a better place for each and every one of us. You just nailed it down. I am because you are.
Yeah.
We are all together in that circle. I'll pass this on to Nadine.
Yes.
Ça, je me sens un peu troublée maintenant de parler de choses techniques après cette belle allocution, ces beaux mots de notre aînée Imelda Purley. Merci beaucoup. Donc, juste rapidement, je vous invite à activer la traduction si vous êtes dans le webinaire. Donc, Terry, qui est notre technicienne extraordinaire, va toujours vous indiquer comment activer la traduction. Donc, ça, c'est important. Et juste de rappeler aux gens que c'est normal parce que des fois, on se dit c'est un Zoom, donc je devrais me voir, mais ceci, c'est un Zoom webinaire. Donc, c'est très normal que vous ne voyez que les gens invités. Mais nous sommes ici. Vous pouvez faire vos commentaires dans le clavardage, sur le Facebook Live, dans les commentaires aussi. Donc, ça, c'est les petites questions d'ordre technique. À toi, ça.
Thank you, Nadine, for these housekeeping notes. We will now hear from our guests who have accepted to join us today at our request. It is important that we create these opportunities wherein we create a platform where different leaders can come on board and share on how We want to see our community that we live today with all the diversity and everything around it. I would now like to hear from my friend, Yusuf Sharai, President of the New Brunswick African Association. Mr. Yusuf, the floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. And welcome everyone. And I want to welcome everyone and thank you for joining us today as we celebrate African Heritage Month ceremony. And I want to thank our panelists, our guest panelists here for joining us in our opening ceremony. In the spirit of Ubuntu, Mandela understood the ties that bind the human spirit. Ubuntu described his greatness gifts, his recognition that we are all bound together in ways that can be invisible to the eye, that there is oneness to humanity, that we achieve ourselves by sharing ourselves with others and caring for those around us. Ubuntu, Umutu, Ungutu, or I am because you are, is how we describe the meaning of Ubuntu. It speaks the fact that we are all connected, that one can only grow and progress through the growth and progress of others. Ubuntu has since been used as a reminder for society how we should be treating others. Nelson Mandela once said, a traveler through a country will stop at a village and he did not have to ask for food or water. Once he stops, the people will offer him food and water and entertain him. This example of a concept of Ubuntu shows the exact oneness as a society looking after one another plays a major role in success humanity. Mandela is a true definition of Ubuntu as he used his concept to lead South Africa to a peaceful post-apartheid transition. He never had intention to teach the oppressors a lesson. Instead, he operated with compassion, integrity, showing us that to be better South Africans and Africans, we cannot act out of vengeance or retaliation, but out of peace. Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who led the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in 1996, also touched on the meaning of Ubuntu, on how it divides us as a society. We think of ourselves far too frequently just individual, separated from one another, whereas you are connected and what you do affects the whole world. When you do well, it spreads out. It's for the whole humanity. This is exactly what Ubuntu is about. It's a reminder that no one is an island. Every single thing that you do, good or bad, has an effect on your family, friends, society. It also reminds us that we need to think twice about the choices we want to make and the kind of impact that we may have in others. What exactly are we doing to live Ubuntu and to make a daily act in our lives? Gender equality, racism, violence happen on a global scale. And this atrocity are what tells us that we need to do more as a society to actively live and breathe Ubuntu and putting into action on our daily basis. Everyone in a society needs to play a part, regardless of how small one may think. We all have a role to play, and it's of vital importance that our action inspire others to want to be part of a better, brighter future. Ubuntu is also about justice, and particularly justice for all people. As much as we must look for each other, it's also just as important we exercise fairness and equality for all people, regardless of race, gender, or social status. Especially Ubuntu is about togetherness, as well as a fight for the greater good. This is what Mandela prepared to sacrifice his life for. Ubuntu is a common thread and DNA that runs through NBAA, New Brunswick African Association, because without the spirit of Ubuntu within us, we cannot implement great change in our society. It's imperative that we help all people, young, old, to achieve only the best for our future. In closing remark, I want to be able to thank our Asian community as well, celebrating the year of the tiger today, for them to have a wonderful and a celebratory new year in their community as well. Thank you, Saa Andrew, and thank you, Nadine.
Merci beaucoup, Yusuf, pour ces belles paroles et surtout pour nous donner le sens, le symbolisme du thème de cette année. J'apprécie énormément et je suis sûre que tout le monde ici a apprécié cette explication. Maintenant, j'ai vraiment le plaisir de céder la parole à la 32e lieutenant-gouverneur du Nouveau-Brunswick, l'Honorable Brenda Murphy.
Merci Nadine. Invités distingués, distinguished guests, friends, chers amis, bon après-midi. Je tiens à remercier l'Association africaine de Nouveau-Brunswick qui, en collaboration avec ses partenaires, a été capable d'établir un éventail d'événements même à travers l'incertitude causée par la pandémie. Cette célébration de la culture africaine vous donne la chance de vous faire voir et de vous faire entendre. Il est essentiel que toutes les communautés culturelles de Nouveau-Brunswick aient l'occasion de partager leur culture avec les gens de notre province. I'm happy to be here, like others this afternoon, for the beginning of African Heritage Month. And as has been mentioned, this year's theme, Ubuntu, I have a slightly different translation. I am what I am because of what we all are, I think is a very powerful message that promotes social cohesion and inclusion and really our collective responsibility, while at the same time acknowledging that we all have our differences. And I think it's applicable to our province because we are so diverse, but we need to see that diversity at every level and in all aspects of our communities. And so I look forward to a day where the panel that opens this month-long event is more representative of our province's cultural composition. And every community must coexist regardless of race, of ethnicity, of religion, of age, gender, or sexual orientation, because we cannot let these differences drive wedges between us. Nous devons faire preuve d'ouverture d'esprit afin de mieux comprendre les autres cultures et les enjeux auxquels font face nos concitoyens. La justice sociale me tient à cœur. C'est pourquoi j'essaie toujours de m'instruire, de me renseigner à propos des secteurs dans lesquels il y a place à amélioration, mais aussi à propos des réalisations exceptionnelles de gens issus de la communauté noire de Nouveau-Brunswick. Je pense aux individus qui ont fait tomber des barrières comme Abraham Beverly Walker, Mary Matilda Winslow et William Ree, ainsi que ceux qui suivent leurs traces ou qui sortent des sentiers battus de nos jours. We are now much more connected than we've ever been. We all carry a device in our pockets that allow us to connect with each other almost instantly and provides us with access to a wealth of information within seconds. So we have to all take responsibility, I think, for our own education to become better and stronger allies. There's no excuse to ignore systemic racism. We can no longer ignore the historical mistreatment of the Black community and others in New Brunswick and the rest of Canada. We can no longer ignore members of racialized communities bravely sharing their lived experience with us, despite the trauma that it reignites. And when we hear or see discrimination and racism, whether it's out of hatred or ignorance, we can no longer afford to stay quiet or to look the other way. Nous devons nous souvenir des injustices qui ont mené aux inégalités d'aujourd'hui. C'est une des raisons pour lesquelles je tiens à souligner l'importance du mois du patrimoine africain. En étudiant notre passé, nous sommes mieux équipés pour comprendre le présent. Mais nous ne pouvons nous permettre d'oublier les obstacles qui s'imposent encore devant la communauté noire aujourd'hui. Ces gens ne disparaissent pas à la fin du mois. Ils continuent d'affronter la discrimination au quotidien. Conséquemment, nous devons poursuivre ces conversations difficiles à l'année longue. I encourage everyone to take part in the cultural events that have been scheduled throughout African Heritage Month. These activities and opportunities for engaging dialogue showcase the richness and the depth of New Brunswick's cultural fabric, while reinforcing our appreciation towards all ethnic communities for their sustained contribution to our province. But in order to eliminate racism and discrimination, we cannot let up when we flip our calendars to March the 1st. We need to continue to empathize with one another and to learn from one another. Ubuntu, I am what I am because of what we all are, and we're all in this together. Wiliwan, Wilawan, merci.
Your Honor, I don't even know where to start from after this wonderful speech.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can remember I learned back 230 years ago, over 15 ships left Nova Scotia for a place called Freetown. That is where I come from. When I reflect back, up to now, we are still fighting racism. Look how far we have come from. We're still talking about the same thing. We have to use our power. We have to use our opportunities. We have to use the wealth we have around us to create that change, to dismantle racism, to create that opportunity for each and every individual soul. It's not just for Black people, but for everyone. Everyone. We have to give, we have to recognize that there were first people in this land before each and every one of us came here. If we fail to realize those things, there's not going to be harmony. There's not going to be peace. There's always going to be chaos. Once we start realizing that, which one thing Ball of the Art NB does is to amplify, to ignite, to share, to support. That's why you see me here today. That's why I'm behind the New Brunswick African Association and all allies to amplify and push until we reach our goal. Dismantling racism, create a fair playground, make sure we have representation of all kinds. I have so many calls, so many push from my community members. Why are you doing what you're doing like this? Why are you bringing people of the one particular set of race? I say, no, I have my reason. Our reason is to bring the players on the table who can help you create the change that you want to see. That's what we're going to do. When you're a leader, you are like a trash can. Everybody dump you the trash. Take it, because that's who you are. I want to say thank you very much for your speech, Your Honorable. And now, I have the honor to introduce the Honourable Blaine Higgs, Premier of New Brunswick. The floor is yours, Your Honor.
Thank you, Andrew. Good afternoon. Bonjour. It is really an honor to be here today and to join in the opening ceremonies for Black History Month. Le Nouveau-Brunswick était abattu en grande partie parce qu'il y a eu des gens différents, origines ethniques, qui sont démarrés ici, et ils étaient décidés à vouloir vivre ici. Black people have lived in Canada since before the American Revolution. And they lived in New Brunswick before the province was established in 1784. While many came with the Loyalists freed by the British in exchange for fighting in the American Revolution, others escaped through the Underground Railroad, and many came as free blacks. Approximately 1/10 of the Loyalists who founded the province in 1784 were black. In spite of the promise for a better life and their allegiance to the crown, the black Loyalists were treated unfairly. They were given considerably smaller, mostly infertile plots of land, well outside the city limits, fewer provisions, and expected to work for lower wages. Malheureusement, la vie n'était pas facile pour ces premiers habitants. La ségrégation raciale a été répandue dans certaines parties du Nouveau-Brunswick pendant près de 2 siècles. For example, as late as the early 1950s, blacks in St. John were prohibited from entering the city's main hotel through the front door. That policy only changed after the late Lena O'Ree, a housekeeper at the Admiral Beatty Hotel, insisted on entering through the front door. This was an event of national importance, as Lena's activism was responsible for the admittance of black people through the main doors of the hotel, as well as the dining room in the hotels across Canada. She was also involved in getting black people admitted to the St. John YMCA. It was chiefly the reality of racial segregation, racism, and anti-Semitism in New Brunswick that led to the adoption of the Human Rights Act and the creation of the Human Rights Commission in 1967. L'histoire des Noirs au Nouveau-Brunswick, c'est beaucoup plus que l'histoire de racisme et la lutte pour la surmonter. Les personnes de race noire ont fait de grandes contributions à notre province en tant que gens de métier, employés, chefs d'entreprise, éducateurs, membres de clergé et de l'athlète. The Commission has been proud to honor several black people in the province with the New Brunswick Human Rights Award, most notably Fred Hodges, Lena O'Ree, Ralph Tiger Thomas of St. John, and Russell McNally of Fredericton. Ralph Thomas and Willie O'Ree are both recipients of the Order of New Brunswick. Ralph has been a champion of diversity and physical well-being his entire life and was recognized as one of Canada's 123 remarkable Canadians. Willie O'Ree of Fredericton broke the NHL's color barrier when he suited up to play with the Boston Bruins against the Montreal Canadiens in January 18th, 1958. I only wish he would have had an opportunity to play for Toronto. Maybe they could have done better throughout the years. This year, 64 years to the day after that game, the Bruins retired his number 22. David Peters, a local plaque historian and descendants of the Black Loyalists, had long lobbied for a postage stamp that would acknowledge Black people and their history. David's vision became a reality last year when Canada Post unveiled a set of stamps honoring early Black settlers who escaped violence and slavery in the US more than 200 years ago to two communities, one of which was Willow Grove, New Brunswick. This is the first time a story about NB's Black history has been honored on a stamp. Il est important de prendre au sujet de notre passé si nous voulons aller de l'avant et créer un meilleur avenir for tous les gens de New Brunswick. As part of our government's 2020 platform commitment, our Anglophone education sector is in the process of updating the curriculum framework for civics classes to ensure students are learning the most up-to-date information about the past and contemporary contributions of Black communities locally and across Canada. Depuis quelque temps déjà, notre secteur de l'éducation francophone travaille déjà sur une plus grande participation communautaire grâce au projet de la vie et de la carrière. In addition, advisory committees with representation from New Brunswick's Black Civil Society Organization, Black community members, and representatives from the academic community have been established in both sectors to adapt course content and educational resources. Cependant, les célébrations de notre histoire diversifiée ne doivent pas seulement avoir lieu dans les salles de classe. That is why our government made a commitment to the New Brunswick Black History Society to work collaboratively and ensure that the history of Black New Brunswickers has a permanent and prominent home at the New Brunswick Museum, Canada's oldest continuing museum. While that work is underway, we have provided the Black History Society with $50,000 a year for 2021 and 2022 to help with operations. Bien que nous ayons fait de grands pas de l'avant, nous savons qu'il reste encore beaucoup de travail à faire. Our government has acknowledged systemic racism and the need to undertake vital steps to eliminate in all forms, which is why we appointed a commissioner on systematic racism in September of last year. Nous sommes engagés à prendre des mesures concrètes pour nous assurer de promouvoir et de célébrer l'égalité fondamentale de toutes les personnes au Nouveau-Brunswick. Although February is Black History Month, we recognize the struggles, the contributions, the accomplishments, and the resilience of our brothers and sisters of African descent every day. We're indebted to these great labor leaders, educators, builders, civil rights activists, musicians, artists, and pioneers of their time. The men and women who helped shape our buildings, institutions, culture, and history. Together, we will continue to build a stronger, more diverse, inclusive New Brunswick and a better future for all. We will do this by facing not only the realities of the past, but ensuring that the qualities of the future remain amongst us for generations to come. Thank you. Merci.
Merci beaucoup, Premier ministre Higgs, et puis surtout pour avoir partagé cet espace aujourd'hui avec nous. Nous sommes très reconnaissants. Merci. Nous avons aussi la présence de l'Honorable Arlene Dunn, qui est la ministre des Affaires autochtones, ministre responsable du développement économique et des petites entreprises, ministre responsable d'opportunités Nouveau-Brunswick et ministre responsable de l'immigration, ainsi que l'honorable Tammy Scott-Wallace, qui est la ministre responsable de l'égalité des femmes, et ministre du tourisme, du patrimoine et de la culture. C'est des gros portfolios, mesdames. Alors, cet après-midi, nous aimerions vous entendre 1 minute ou 2 chacune. Nous sommes très reconnaissants aussi que vous avez joint cette cérémonie à la demande de l'Association africaine du Nouveau-Brunswick. Alors, on va commencer avec vous, ministre Dunn, si ça vous va.
Well, thank you so much. And I want to start by thanking the New Brunswick African Association and the Battle of the Arts New Brunswick in partnership with Dialogue New Brunswick for organizing this very special event. When I reflect upon the importance of this event, I always ask myself, what is really important to me about African Heritage Month? And I would say for me, in my perspective, it offers all of us an opportunity to recognize and honor the many, many contributions of those of African descent. But even more importantly, it's how they make us better as people and better as communities. And I'm really inspired by everyone that I've heard from today. And I really am thankful for the allowance to participate and stand here with you. I think it sends a message that we are united with our Black community and they matter to us. It's important for us to show up and to demonstrate that. And I'm really thankful to be here. And I would say I'm particularly inspired by your theme. I am what I am because of what we all are. And I would say, I think many of you know that this really hits home for me. I'm raising a biracial daughter. And as a mother, I am hopeful for her and all children that there will one day come a day where the color of their skin will be celebrated. It will be welcomed and seen as a necessity and adding to the richness of our society. I want to thank you for the work that you're doing to elevate Black voices and empower all generations to embrace Black culture, for providing us with a forum to understand each other, to want the best for our communities, and to rejoice in our similarities and appreciate our differences. Bravo to you. Thank you so much for the work that you're doing to make not only our lives today better, but future generations as well. Thank you.
Super. Merci beaucoup, ministre Dunn. Et maintenant, je cède la parole à la ministre Scott-Wallace.
Well, hello, and thank you for having me. And I appreciated so much listening to my colleagues, to the members of the Black community, as well as Elder Pearlie. Thank you so very much for that. I think that there's always so much to learn in these conversations, and I think each and every time I've said it with you, Nadine, on these webinars, that there has just been so much to learn. And I really think that until we come together to have these conversations, and we can never fully appreciate and understand one another. So I'm so grateful for this opportunity. I'm grateful as the Minister for Tourism, Heritage and Culture, in which our museums and Black history plays such a big role, but also as the Minister for women and the advancement of women. Certainly, we haven't focused specifically on the significance of Black women in our history, but it is strong and it's so relevant. And so I really applaud any opportunity to raise awareness. Black History Month is about education, remembrance, and social justice. And I really would like to recognize the organizations and the community groups who work to deepen our collective understanding and appreciation of Black history's role in shaping our province. It is considerable, and it's so valued. I really hope that people do take the opportunity through opportunities like this, but even in their own communities, to reflect on really the stories of the past that have brought us to where we are today, and the contributions of this community. I really do applaud this opportunity, and all of you for the work you're doing to make our province a better place. Thank you.
Wow, I feel touched, and I feel overwhelmed, and I appreciate this table that we create in bringing voice of power, voice of community advocates. We know there are people out there listening to us as we speak. There are people who want us to say and say and say and say. We wish we have all the time to say all of that, but we believe that when you're here today, you are seeing what is happening. This is just few members of the Black community and allies here. And you know that there's a lot of work needs to be done out there. You're held responsible. If you can change one life at a time, do it. You can change one person at a time, do it. One community at a time, do it. Anything you can do, be an ally, be somebody who can stand by someone else. In the time of weakness, you come there as a power and help. That's a change. Those are the change we want to see happen. And we want to see them happen now, because it's too late. We want to see those things happen. We are so happy and privileged to have you here to actually speak, and we would like to see more what your office can do in creating the change that you want to see. Because we know we want what we want to see, which is representation, and we want to be able to see racism is dismantling all over. Fair table, we want to see all of those. So you know what we want to see. Go out there when you go back to your offices and your community and wherever you have power in your power groups, and you say, this is what these people want to see. We want to make sure we keep celebrating the diversity we're seeing here. I'm so touched by the what Minister Arlene Dunn just talked about, the biracial child you're raising. I have a child too, which is biracial. When I hear about all these, the challenges they face in schools, all of that, it's challenging. I feel bad when I cannot able to tell my child, go and stand up for yourself, or I'm not sitting by you in your classroom every day to stand for you. So it's our job to educate, to keep talking, to keep sharing, to keep making those changes that we want to see. Because right now, as I speak, our community members are pushing us from outside, do this, say this, do this, say this, but The only way we can create change is by dialoguing. It's by dialoguing. That is what we want to keep doing. And so thank you very much again for those wonderful comments. Thank you, Mr. Dunn and Minister Dunn and Wale Scott. Our last guest today is Marie-Christine Pierry, board member of Dialogue NB and corporate lawyer with Actos Law. Bonjour, Marie-Christine.
Bonjour. C'est un honneur pour moi d'être ici avec vous. Bonjour à vous tous qui nous écoutent. J'aimerais d'abord remercier l'Association africaine du Nouveau-Brunswick, Battle of the Arts NB et amplifié par Dialogue NB pour cette belle initiative et de nous permettre ensemble de célébrer le mois du patrimoine africain. Je désire aussi souligner que je suis présentement sur les terres non cédées des Micmacs, qui sommes, comme nous le savons, gouvernés par les traités de paix et d'amitié. Je me présente, mon nom est Marie-Christine Pierre. Je suis membre du conseil d'administration de Dialogue NB et également membre du barreau du Nouveau-Brunswick. Je suis avocate en droit corporatif au cabinet Actus Law Droit situé à Moncton. Mais avant de devenir qui je suis aujourd'hui, j'étais une jeune fille qui a vu son père, un homme noir, entrepreneur, francophone au Nouveau-Brunswick, subir de la discrimination raciale au quotidien. J'ai vite compris, suite à mes études en administration des affaires à l'Université de Moncton et en me lançant moi-même en affaires au Nouveau-Brunswick, j'ai vite compris que la discrimination raciale au Nouveau-Brunswick existe et que c'est toujours bien présent. Le racisme systémique et les préjudices existent. En tant que jeune femme noire, francophone, je peux vous dire que oui, en effet, ça existe. La thématique de cette année, Ubuntu, c'est quelque chose qui est une valeur très chaude pour moi à mon cœur, que c'est un principe selon lequel je vis ma vie à chaque jour. I am because we are. Je suis parce que nous sommes, synonyme d'humanité. Je me dois de vous dire à vous tous qui vous êtes ici devant nous, qui avez un rôle important dans notre société pour prendre des décisions. Je me dois de vous dire que le racisme systémique, la discrimination raciale existe au Nouveau-Brunswick et ce, peu importe le statut. Je m'en ai rendu compte lorsque j'ai continué mes études pour obtenir mon baccalauréat en droit à l'Université de Moncton et en devenant avocate, je me suis rendu compte tout autour de moi que j'étais différente. Nous sommes si peu représentés dans cette communauté juridique. Encore une fois, I am because we are. Je suis parce que nous sommes. Il faut s'unir ensemble, Ubuntu, et ensemble, en harmonie, au Nouveau-Brunswick, créer un Nouveau-Brunswick meilleur et un Nouveau-Brunswick pour tous. Puis, je profite de l'occasion pour m'adresser à tous les jeunes racisés, peu importe vos différences. Je m'adresse à vous. Mon message pour vous est de ne pas laisser vos différences vous empêcher de devenir ce que vous voulez dans la vie. Parce que si moi, j'avais fait pareil lorsque j'étais jeune, je ne serais pas devant vous aujourd'hui, avocate au Nouveau-Brunswick. Encore une fois, merci à l'Association africaine du Nouveau-Brunswick, Battle of the Arts NB, et tous les organismes dirigés par des personnes noires au Nouveau-Brunswick. Je vous remercie pour le travail que vous faites à l'année longue. Ça vaut beaucoup pour nous. Puis, sur ce, je vous souhaite un bon mois de célébration à toutes et à tous. Merci. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, Marie-Christine. C'était très touchant. Je me permets de vous partager que c'est la première fois, malgré que Marie-Christine est sur notre conseil d'administration, c'est la première fois que je l'entends partager du cœur son expérience vécue. Nous avons touché la surface de ce que ça a été pour toi, justement de faire ton chemin, de devenir avocate et comme tu dis, dans une communauté encore si peu représentée. Donc, merci d'avoir eu le courage aujourd'hui de partager cette expérience vécue, ce témoignage et surtout ta vision et ton message d'espoir pour les jeunes qui écoutent. Ça, je trouve ça merveilleux.
Oui.
Est-ce que tu voulais ajouter quelque chose?
Si je me permets d'ajouter, vu que j'ai la chance d'avoir des personnes qui jouent un rôle si important dans notre communauté, C'est important au Nouveau-Brunswick d'encourager l'excellence noire, d'encourager les Noirs dans des postes de leader, que ce soit au sein du gouvernement, que ce soit dans la communauté juridique. Comme je l'ai dit, nous sommes si peu représentés, ou même au sein de la magistrature au Nouveau-Brunswick. Il faut qu'on soit représenté, que notre voix soit entendue aussi. Merci.
Alors, message lancé. Merci, Marie-Christine. Donc, Saa Andrews, je pense qu'on arrive déjà à la conclusion de notre belle cérémonie. Moi, avant de te laisser la parole pour le mot de la fin, je vais tout simplement souligner Ron Fournier, qui était à l'interprétation aujourd'hui. Merci, Monsieur Fournier. Je veux encore une fois souligner le merveilleux travail de Battle of the Arts New Brunswick, l'Association africaine du Nouveau-Brunswick et surtout, merci encore pour considérer Dialogue Nouveau-Brunswick comme l'un des organismes qui est votre allié co-conspirateur, comme on dit souvent. Il est important, finalement, de souligner le travail, comme le disait Marie-Christine, de tous les organismes dirigés par les personnes noires dans cette province qui ont organisé plusieurs événements dans le cadre du mois de l'histoire du patrimoine africain, ainsi que pendant toute l'année et qui travaillent sur de nombreux dossiers. Alors, merci pour ce privilège. Je te laisse la parole de fin, mon ami Saa.
Thank you very much, Nadine. And I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to all our guest speakers today. You all have just amplified us just by being here, your presence. Help us send a message out that you are ready to create the room, the opportunity, the chance, the platform so we can create a dialogue and you can help us move our vision further to able to make the community the way it looks right now, which is so mixed with people from all around the world. You have all spoken so well. And I also want to say thank you to Imelda Pali for your wonderful words. And it's so amazing. And Minister Arlene Dunn, amazing. Our Premier, you actually nailed it. So thank you again for the support you're giving to the Black History Society in order to push on the job they're doing. We also would like to see more and more and more windows open for more other immigrant groups, minority groups in this province to able to flourish, to able to reach their goals, to able to continue to call New Brunswick home. Because there are people coming every day, we see different news every day. We know that together we work together, we can create those changes, we can create those opportunities where every New Brunswicker, every newcomer to this province will say, yes, I want to stay here and raise my children. I want to call here home. We can't do this alone if we don't able to make sure representation matters. We have to create those rooms. We have to work together and dismantle racism. We have to come together as a team and look at where are the challenges and let's fight them together. You have to give us the opportunity so that we can able to make these things happen, not just for us, but whenever good things come, it's for all of us. It's for the province. They want to say these are New Brunswickers. We're here today. We want to stay here. I want to also let you guys know that take this opportunity to let you guys know there are other different events happening around the province and I'm celebrating of African Heritage Month. I know Prude Inc. in St. John have a lot of events already set. We encourage everyone here and every person who is on call here right now who is on this event, please make sure you attend their event, check their website. I also want to let you guys know the BBPN Black Business and Professional Network, New Brunswick. They also have a lot of events. Check them out. It's a new organization that helps to bring Black leaders together so that they can able to thrive in businesses. The New Brunswick Black Artists Alliance as well is having events on at the Beaverbrook Art Gallery and the Gallery on Queen. Make sure you check out their events, and these are all happenings to celebrate Black History Month. Also, BLM New Brunswick is also celebrating events. We also want to showcase this. These are the things we do. We amplify, we promote, we showcase, we sell out these things so that every member of our community, Black or white, Indian, doesn't matter where you come from, you learn and enjoy and be part of these events here because we all belong. Then also, I want to also share that tonight, I think 5 p.m., CPRNB and SANB taking place. Their opening ceremony will be taking place live, virtually, I believe, online today in Moncton. So there's a lot more activities going on around the province. We want to make sure that we showcase those activities, that you attend it, you talk to your co-workers, your members of parliament or wherever, so they go attend all of these events. This is what we do. We amplify, We create space, we talk, we dialogue, we bring people who can help us move our vision further so we can all do it together in one team. I remember I see a quote that Martin Luther King did say when they were marching at the Selma, is that we are doing this, all what we are doing is a non-violent approach we are taking to create the opportunity we would like to see. Such we want to keep and continue, and we appreciate those who have worked way before. We appreciate what we're doing now. I will always bring back my history from Sierra Leone to East Coast Canada. I always bring back that reflection, you know, and I said it last year, I say it again every day. And the work we do is not just February, it's every day, 365 days with allies who want to help to amplify us, and you are one. So thank you. Please share our events, check our Facebook pages, check our allies' Facebook pages, they share our event. Please attend all of those events throughout the month. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Merci.
Bye.
Oui, one.
Thanks, everyone.
Arlene.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Merci. Thank you.